Welcome to the next session, that is second chapter, objective beats, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In last video, we have discussed up to 20 beats. In this session, we will discuss remaining 20 beats. See here 21 beat. The function of anther is, the anther, what is the function of anther? Anther function is, see, produce ubisque bodies. So actually, okay, so how many bit, that is function of, the function of anther is, see, produce ubisque bodies. It's not a function of anther, so option is wrong one. Ubisque bodies means what? A kind of organ in anther is identified by the scientist Ubisque. So that body name is called Ubisque bodies. So the function of anther is not producing Ubisque bodies. Okay, so that it is the wrong option. So the function of, someone sent answer already, option D. See, produce pollen grains. Anther, what can be done? Produces pollen grains. Store and protect the pollen grains. See, store and protect the pollen grain is not a function of anther. Okay, so store and protect the pollen grains, it is the function. This function is carried by the pollen sac. The pollen sac consists of 4 layers: epidermis, endothelium, middle layer, and tapetum. That is the function of store and protect the pollen grains. So for 21 question, the correct answer is B. 21 question, the correct answer is B. So 22nd question answer, try to find. Second. Yes. Intine of pollen grain is made up of, see, intine, see, this is called exine. So next to the exine layer is called intine. Intine of pollen grain is made up of pectocellulose. See here, pectocellulose. It is a direct question. Everybody knows that. If you study structure of pollen grains, then you can see the answer. Okay, so pectocellulose. Callose, option A is wrong. Callose in intine not there. So option 1 is wrong. Option B, pectocellulose, correct option. So not only cellulose, not a fat like sporopollenin. So here, 22nd question, the correct option is B. Okay, that's it. 23rd question. Exine of pollen grain is formed of, exine of pollen grain is formed of, see, exine, see, this is called exine. Exine of pollen grain is made up of, exine of pollen grain is formed of, not a callose, not a pectocellulose. In exine, pectocellulose not there, lignocellulose not there. So sporopollenin. Exine of pollen grain has a thick layer. It is made up of by biological resistant material, that is called sporopollenin. Option D. Yes, correct. So 23rd question, the correct answer is option D. Next, 24th question, C. Abundant occurrence of fossilized pollen grains is due to resistant. See, abundant occurrence of means of many years it can be survived. So due to the presence of fossilized pollen grain. Fossilized pollen grains is due to resistant material. What is that? It's not a lignocellulose. It is a sporopollenin. See, this is sporopollenin. Pollen grain is covered by thick layer. The thick layer is called sporopollenin. Pollenin. It is a biological resistant material. Due to the presence of sporopollenin, the pollen grains can be preserved, can be stored for a long period of time. That's why these are called fossilized pollen grains. No microorganism, no chemical, no acids are detected to destroy sporopollenin. So 24th question, option B is correct. Let's see third, pectocellulose. So pectocellulose is not there in exine. Pectolignin, it is also not there in exine. So 24th question, correct option is B. Option B, yes. Okay, ma? That's all. 24th question. Twenty-fifth question. Sporopollenin is chemically homopolysaccharide, heteropolysaccharide, protein, fatty substance. So generally in sporopollenin, it is not a homopolysaccharide. It's not a homopolysaccharide. In this one, same type of polysaccharides are not there. Different types of polysaccharides are not there. It's not a protein material. Sporopollenin is a fatty substance. So actually, pollen grains are covered by thick layer. It is called exine. Exine contains a biological resistant material that is called sporopollenin. It is a fatty substance. So 25th question is D. Actually, so sporopollenin is a chemically fatty substance. This point in our NCERT book they did not give. Okay, ma? So next, pollen grain is liberated. Liberated, nothing but released. Can you say the answer? In 1 cell stage, 2 cell stage, 3 cell stage, 2 or 3 cell stage. Pollen grain is liberated in which cell stage? I want answers, that quick answers. B, it is the wrong option, ma. C, that only you have to remember. Pollen grain is liberated in over 60% of the angiosperm. The pollen grain is shed at 2 cell stage. Rest of the 40% of the species, the pollen grains are shed at 3 cell stage, either 2 or 3. So 2 or 3 cell stage. So pollen grains are liberated in D, option D, 2 or 3 cell stage. 2 or 3 cell stage, the pollen grains are released. Okay, first PUC I said about it. Second PUC I said. Okay, ma? That's all. So pollen tube is covered by sema. So this is the stigma. See, pollen tube, pollen grain, this is pollen grain. Pollen grain landed on the stigma. If it is compatible, it will start germination and producing pollen tube. This is called pollen tube. Pollen tube is covered by pollen tube is covered by what kind of a material? Pollen grain. Pollen tube is covered by pectocellulose. See, pollen tube like this way. This is called pollen tube. This pollen tube is covered by, this is the pollen tube. This entire pollen tube is covered by pectocellulose. Option 1, pectocellulose. Okay. Pollen tube is not covered by sporopollenin. When pollen grains are germinated, sporopollenin breaks and forms pollen tube. So that it is wrong. Not a cellulose, not a lignocellulose. Lignin means it is a dead component, but it is a living, it can be grown. It can be grown continuously. So 27th question, option A is correct. 28th question, which one forms the pollen tube? Here 4 options are there. Among the 4 options, which one forms the pollen tube? So which one forms the pollen tube? Prothallal cells. Prothallal cells in pollen tube won't be there. Okay. So Prothalial cells are present in bryophytes, pteridophytes, algae. In them, thallial cells are present. Thallus. Okay, so it is wrong. Vegetative cell, yes. So here pollen grain consists of vegetative cell and generative cell. Vegetative cell gives rise to pollen tube. 28th question, option B is correct. Very good. Sima, very good, ma. So vegetative cell is correct option. So generative cell gives rise to male gametes. Generative cell undergoes mitosis divisions and gives two cells. It is one cell, it is one cell, it is one nuclei, it is one nuclei. These two are called male gametes. Stalk cell. So stalk cell is different in this question. For the stalk cells and pollen tube, no relation. So 28th question, the correct option is B. Let's start 29th question. Growth of pollen tube is, see, this is the stigma, it is the style, it is the thalamus, it is the pedicel, thalamus, it is the stigma, and the stigma pollen grain is germinated and forms pollen tube. See, this is the end region. This is end region. This end region is gross. End is nothing but here one option. What is that? Let me have a look. A. Yes, ma. Very good. Only one answer. Okay. See. Yes. Apical. Apical. This is apical. Apex. Apical end. Okay. That's that. So apical. Basal. Base means what? It is base. From the base knot. Okay. Pollen tube. Growth of pollen tube from apical end. It is wrong. Intercalary. Inter means middle. Not. Diffused. It is not related to the question. So 29th question, correct option is A. A is correct option. So let's see 30th question. Number of nuclei present in the mature male gametophyte of angiosperm is. It is easy to say. Number of nuclei present in the mature male gametophyte. In the mature male gametophyte of angiosperm is. Number of nuclei present in the mature male gametophyte. Answer. I want answer. Number of nuclei present in the mature male gametophyte. Option B. Here only you kept wrong. Not one, not two. It is the three. How, sir? Yes. Vegetative cell. It is one. Generative cell. It is one. Vegetative cell gives rise to pollen tube. It is one. Generative cell undergoes mitosis division and gives rise to two cells. So it is one. It is two actually. 1, 2, 2 cells. But it is one, however, that like that only will be there. Like that only will be there. Generative cell. It undergoes mitosis and gives rise to two nuclei. Two cells. Two cells. It is here 1, 2, 3. These two are called male gametes. So option is 3. Number of nuclei present in the mature male gametophyte. If it is immature, 2. If it is mature, 3. So the correct option is 3. 30th question, answer is C. Let's start discussing megasporangium, which is equivalent in angiosperms is. Megasporangium, if you study, you can say megasporangium. Megasporangium is also called what? Ovule in angiosperms. So the option is ovule. So megasporangium is not equivalent to embryo sac. So option wrong. Megasporangium is not equivalent to ovary. Megasporangium is not equivalent to egg operators. So that here the option 31 question, correct option is 1. 32 question. Ovule. 32 question. Ovule. Megasporangium. Yes, these both are similar. Ovule is also called megasporangium. 32 question. Yes, here remaining options we have to see. So megasporangium, megasporophyll, integumented megasporangium, rolled megasporophyll. See here 4 options given. Ovule, the ovule diagram I will draw. You have to find the answer. This is called ovule. These two what? Integuments. Outer layer, inner layer. This is called placenta. The placenta is attached to the ovule. Up to this part is ovule by a short stalk. This is called hilum. So this is totally is ovule. The ovule contains layers, outer layer and inner layer. These two layers are called integuments. Now answer say. 32 question. Ovule is answer say. If you understand, this is the ovule. The ovule contains outer layer and inner layer. These two layers are called integuments. These two layers are called integuments. Answer. Then ovule is it megasporangium? Is it megasporophyll? Is it integumented megasporangium? Rolled megasporophyll? Option C, yes. Option C, yes. So integumented megasporangium, integumented. So 32 question. 32 question. Answer is 32 question. Answer is C. 33 question. Which condition is more advanced? Bitegmic, unitegmic, tritegmic, absence of tegmic. Here, so in plant population, integuments, which type of two-layered integument is more advanced? Only one layer integument is more advanced. Three-layered integument is more advanced. It is also in our syllabus not there. Only one layered integument. Just now only I drawn, I arranged the diagram. So two integuments in most of the population, two integuments. In some plant population, only one integument will be there. That is in plant population more advanced. So option B, 33, option B is correct. Okay. So unitegmic. So unitegmic means what? So nucellus is covered by only one tegment, only one layer. Nucellus is covered by, see here, where is the location of nucellus? See here. This is, so this region is called nucellus. This nucellus is always unitegmic, unitegmic, only one layer. Nucellus is covered by only one layer, that is called unitegmic. In most of the population, unitegmic condition is more advanced. 34 question, try to say. 34 question, try to say. Ovules are attached to the parenchymatous cushion called. See, this is many times we discussed. This is ovule. This is called ovule. Up to this ovule. This ovule is attached to the parenchymatous Cushion, it is a cushion. This cushion-like structure is called placenta. So the option, ovules are attached to the parenchymatous cushion are called not nucellus, not obturator, conducting tissue, placenta. Option D. Okay, ma? So cushion, the word cushion, parenchymatous word you may get new. So this parenchymatous, this placenta contains parenchymatous tissue. Okay, so option D is correct. So 35 question, the stalk of the ovule is called. See, now say stalk of the ovule. In text, if you see textbook, you will get funiculus. Yes. So the stalk of the ovule. Here it will be there. Funiculus. Stalk. Okay. That's all. Funiculus. Stalk of the ovule. It's not a pedicel. Pedicel location is different. Funiculus. The ovule is attached to the funiculus. Petiole leaf. Raceole. Rache. So that is also a part of ovule, but it is not a stalk. Raceole. Okay, it is not a stalk. So here, funiculus, 35th question, B is correct option. So 36th question, C. Thirty-sixth question. The point at which funiculus touches the ovule. Hilum, yes, B. 36th question, B. So already I have drawn diagram. The point at which the funiculus. See here. The point at which funiculus touches the ovule. This is placenta. Here, this ovule attached, this is funiculus. This junction is called hilum. Already we discussed hilum. 36 B option. These are all textbook books only. Okay. So ovule structure, if you study thoroughly, the structure of ovule, if you study thoroughly, then you can say answers for these all questions. Egg apparatus consists of, see, the egg apparatus consists of, answer say, in egg, what are the contents are present? Egg, 37th bit. Oh, jumped. Wait a minute, sorry. Yes. In ovule meiosis occurs in archisporial cell. For archisporial cell and meiosis not related. Megasporocyte. In megasporocyte does not occurs meiosis divisions. Megaspore undergoes mitosis division. Parietal cell in ovule does not exist. Megasporocyte undergoes meiosis divisions. Megasporocyte nothing but megaspore mother cell. So megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis divisions and gives rise to megaspore mother cell. Megasporocyte is converted into megaspore mother cell. This megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis divisions and gives megaspore. 4 megaspore gives. Out of 4 megaspores, 3 degenerate, only one is functional megaspore. Okay, so that's all. What answer? Yes, you are correct. Okay, so initially I given little bit. In ovule, meiosis occurs in megasporocyte. Megasporocyte gradually turn to be megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis division and gives rise to 4 megaspores. Out of 4, 3 degenerates. Only 1 functional megaspore. So this one